on themselves. We'll get started with the panel members after that.
This is Mark Risman. I'm a candidate for Department 31. I've been practicing law here in Clark County for over 30 years. Without going into too much detail for those full 30 years, I'd like to emphasize the veteran-related work I've done both at the beginning of my career and as recently as last week. Back in the very early 80s, 81 and 82, I served as a board member and legal counsel for Chapter 17 of the Vietnam Veterans of America. And I currently, as part of my practice, work with Larry Vieira from over at UNLV in working with local businesses in trying to get veterans trained on the job with certain government funding. It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. My name is Joanna Kishner. I'm also a candidate for Department 31. A couple things about myself. I've been practicing for over 20 years in business litigation. I have a broad breadth and depth of experience in that area. I also have been pro-temming. I've pro-temmed in the justice courts. I've also pro-temmed as a small claims referee, and I'm also an arbitrator with the 8th Judicial Court Annexed Program. I am a native of Southern Nevada. I do have 3 generations living here, so I'm very familiar with the issues that affect all aspects of our community.
Good morning. My name is Phil Dabney. I'm a candidate for District Court Department 31. I'm currently a partner at a law firm, regional firm called Holland & Hart. It's a full-service commercial firm. I started practicing in 1986 in Illinois. I moved out here in 1987, clerked for a judge for a year, and then went into private practice with a small firm in town. And I've been practicing commercial and construction law ever since. For the past 8 years, I have been a justice court, pro tem, and a short trial judge. I've tried about 20 cases, half of those to juries in the short trial program. I've done work for numerous justice court judges in Las Vegas Township. I also have done work for the Disabled Veterans Organization, done some pro bono legal work for them. Phil Dabney, Department 31.
Thank you. Good morning. I want to thank you for having us here and holding this forum. My name is Josh Kunis, also obviously a candidate for Department 31. I grew up in Brooklyn, had a wonderful upbringing with 3 siblings and 1 loving parents. Went to college at Hofstra University, better known as the preseason home of the New York Jets. Was a Dean's Honor Roll student, stayed on and got an MBA in finance. And then I worked 8 years in the business world of New York City. And at the age of 33, went back to law school. Kind of proud to tell you that I finished the 3-year program in 2.5 years. 2 days after law school ended, I was on a flight to move to Las Vegas. Clark County is the only place that I've ever practiced as an attorney. It's 15 years now. Most of that has been as a civil litigator. I handle personal injury cases, wrongful death. I've done complex litigation cases that have values of $25 million, construction defect, and I was a candidate in 2008. And I'm proud to tell you that as a first-time candidate against essentially an incumbent, I earned the respect of 140,000 Clark County voters. And I hope to do so again this year. Josh Kunis, Department 31, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mike Mazur here. Question, there's a lot of talk nowadays about the need or creation of an appellate court system rather than appeals going directly to the Supreme Court. If you each can give a few minutes or about a minute comment on that, that'd be great.
Well, very quickly, having heard Chief Justice Paragary as recently as a week ago discuss the situation, it is a need here, but it's a need that's going to have to be determined by the voters from referendum and then by the legislature. It would be a great boon to the Supreme Court, but it really would not probably affect us very much at the district court level.
I would concur with Mark. I've also heard the Supreme Court justices are definitely in favor of an appellate court. We're one of the few states in the nation that do not have an appellate court. I think it would allow, from the Supreme Court standpoint, to be able to get decisions quicker, which are going to be binding on the trial court. So I think that there will be some impact there. And part of the issues that a lot of the district court judges have expressed is by having a lack of opinions at a trial court level, it presents some issues because you may get different rulings when each of us go into a particular court. So I think an appellate court will have some assistance in that area, give you some more clarity at a higher level. But once again, that is on the referendum. It is something that's going to have to be decided by the voters, and then it's going to have some legislative approval so that we can do it, because we have some funding issues and we have a lot of issues.
Phil Dabney, Department 31. I agree that there is a need for an appellate court. I have personal experience with several appeals in civil matters that have taken years to get resolved at the Supreme Court. And it's pretty clear that they have too many cases on their plate and not enough time to get those cases resolved. They're doing their best, they're doing a pretty good job, but they also have to keep their priorities straight and handle the important matters first, particularly criminal matters, so that constitutional rights are not violated. So it is important that at some stage in the game we have an appellate court. We're a growing state in spite of the economy, and as we continue to grow, we have to develop the kind of a system that other states have to deal with all sorts of disputes and appeals of those disputes. The problem we have today, of course, is that we don't have funding to take care of our schools, let alone to develop an appellate court. So I don't know how the people are going to vote on this, but I think the mindset will probably be we need to spend our money on other issues that are more important in the immediate future than on an appellate court. The way these 7 new district court departments were funded was quite unique. They did not raise taxes at the legislature to pay for these courtrooms or for these new departments. Instead, they raised filing fees so that the average taxpayer does not have to pay money out of their own pocket to fund these new district courts. If some method of funding like that can be generated to fund the appellate court, then that would be a better way to do it than to require taxpayers to pay it today.
Thank you, Phil. Josh Kunis. There's not much I can add from the other panel members. We do need an appellate court, intermediate appellate court, I think. I do have to disagree on one issue, Mr. Dabney. The Nevada Supreme Court has already stated that the appellate court budget, but the appellate court money will come out of the Nevada Supreme Court budget. So there's already a plan in place to pay for it. And if the voters go for it and the legislature goes for it, then we will have it.